What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Untitled Artwork. We are doing a Christmas catch-up episode as we haven't spoke since before the Christmas break, and we're going to talk about some of our goals for 2022. So hope you like the video and like and subscribe. How's it going, boys?
Good, man. Yourself?
Not too bad. I'm good. Just getting over a bit of a cold, but I'm feeling good. Been back in the gym today.
Nice.
Yeah, feeling back to 90% health. Yeah, what about you, Yoni? How you doing?
Yeah, good, man. Pretty much status quo. I feel like I didn't give myself as much of a break as maybe I wanted to.
For Christmas?
Yeah, I feel like I should have taken a little bit more downtime. It feels like it's just flown by, but I think in part that's just because like actually hosting Christmas is f***ing loads of work.
Yeah.
So
you went to have like 15 people around though, weren't you?
Yeah, we were supposed to have quite a big gathering of people, and then it wound up just being 4 of us because a bunch of people came down with COVID. So it became a bit smaller, but it was quite nice. Like it was just my mom and my nephew around, and it was nice and contained, and it was good to spend time with those guys because even though you've been allowed to see people and stuff now, we still haven't really seen as much of each other as we'd have liked over the past 12 months. But I suppose like from a business point of view, Christmas was quiet. Like in terms of work, like commissioned work, I was very busy, but in terms of sales and like selling prints and stuff, it was a lot quieter than I expected, which I think is what I've heard from a majority of people who do similar things to ourselves, really.
Yeah. For myself, as you can see, the hair's gone. That's it. It's back to normality.
Looks good though.
Midlife crisis over.
Or just beginning.
Yeah, maybe
that. Buying a motorbike next. No, I just had enough. I don't know. A lot of respect for women who wash their hair and do all sorts of stuff. And mine weren't even that long, to be honest with you. But just to, obviously I play football once a week. I go to the gym a few times a week, and just to come back and have to just continuously wash my hair and then continuously dry it, it's just so draining. I'm not gonna lie.
Must be awful.
Yeah, it's just I just wanted to see that I could do it. I did, and now back to normality. But in terms of Christmas, it was good. It was cool. It's for the kids, really. For me now, just running around getting gifts, and we went up to my missus' brother's house. Family was there. That was cool. My sister came over on Christmas Eve with the kids, so we did her kids and then mine, and we did sort of the whole Christmas Santa, etc., which was really nice. And then Boxing Day, or no, it was Boxing Day, no, a few days later they came back over, and we just what Christmas time's like. It's just everybody getting together and family, and all the kids were in your house and staying up to stupid hours. That was good, and I can't believe how much chocolate I've got in my house. I just can't stop eating it, and I can't stop eating it. I just want to ask you guys a question on Christmas, actually. Is it me, or is Quality Street the worst box of chocolates out of the choice you can get, but yet I can't stop eating them?
Are you mad?
I don't know. Telling me it's probably
what? They're not better than Celebrations.
Quality Street's the best.
Yeah, it's probably the best, to be honest.
Yeah. No.
I think we should do a vote.
Quality Street.
If you're Quality Street and you're watching this, put your favorite box of chocolates in the comments below. And let us
Celebrations know. By some
Roses
distance.
is last.
Roses is last.
I'll give you that. Yeah, Roses is last. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Quality Street is
those green Quality Street diamonds.
Quality Street is behind. Yeah, but it's the only one. There's like 2 in there that you can eat.
No, mate.
The rest,
they're almost
ones.
all really good. The only ones I don't particularly like are the toffee pennies.
No, I don't like.
Yeah,
isn't the blue one? Yeah. Isn't the blue one coconut as well?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anybody eats coconut?
Box now.
Anyone who eats coconut or Bounties is a serial killer.
Mate, my favorite celebration.
I love the coconut ones.
My favorite celebration is Bounty.
No, you don't need to get out of it.
We're
going to be advertising. I'm advertising for 2 new people, 2 new members in it.
I think you'll find that we're advertising for 1.
Yeah.
Listen, it goes Celebrations, Heroes, Quality Street, roses.
Thing is, though, right? The reason I don't agree is because, like, what you get from miniature heroes and celebrations, you can just get from the shop whenever you want. Like, I only have ever had Quality Street at Christmas. It's a Christmas thing, like, and
You can get them from the pound shop.
You're not going down the corner shop buying a strawberry cream.
Yeah, they're dead. That's why they're dead.
Nah,
it's like after eights though, isn't it? Like that's why after eights are so special, because you're not eating after eights in June.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't really want a packet or like a box of Quality Street in August, but I can get why people would still want to have some celebrations or miniature heroes. But
but celebrations are like, if you get a promotion, and you get celebrations, you don't feel like Christmas. Where if someone gives you Quality Street, you go, this isn't Christmas, why are you giving me Quality Street? Do you know what I mean? So you're wrong, Carl.
Yeah,
no,
you're wrong.
I get what you're saying, and you're right. But
Chocolate
I'm saying
cake.
when it actually comes down to the crux of opening the packet and eating them, they are, well, again, roses is probably the worst, but they are behind, for me anyway, they're behind heroes and definitely celebrations.
I had a packet of chocolate orange after eights.
Nice.
I love chocolate orange. Terry's chocolate orange.
Yeah,
it was the best day of my life opening them. I ate about 20 in one go. I was just in awe. Christmas Day, I opened them. I was just like, it's the best Christmas day ever.
I ended up getting my favorite chocolate. I can ask you guys after, but my favorite chocolate is Reese's Cup.
All right.
Like, never had one.
What? You never had a Reese's peanut butter cup?
Never had a Reese's Cup, no.
No, mate, they're sick.
God, mate, it is the best. I tell you, this Christmas, everyone knows it. So I must have had about 200 packs of Reese's Cup in my house.
My favorite chocolate is Milka.
Oh right, yeah.
You know that you get from like the airport, and when you come home, I think I only ever see them like Spain and Portugal. I don't really see them.
You can get them in shops now. Like,
and
you can.
Yeah, you get them in like a Tesco.
Yeah, Milka, the one where it's got 3 different chocolates. It's got like dark chocolate, light chocolate, milk chocolate, and like a crunchy chocolate. Should we just do an episode of chocolate?
Yoni, what's yours?
So all time, my entire life, favorite chocolate bar is a double decker.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, and I know it's pretty niche. But yeah, I love a double decker, mate.
Toffee crisp all day is the best bar.
I'm surprised that you don't like heroes then, because they've got double decker in them.
I know they do, and they've got the little cream egg thing. I love cream eggs.
Cream eggs.
Yeah, cream eggs are nice.
Cream eggs are insanely good, aren't they?
Yeah. If we're just talking about favorite chocolate confection, probably mini eggs. Love a mini egg.
Buttons, white chocolate buttons.
Oh, I'm not a big white chocolate fan.
No,
I'm a big fan of the Cadbury's creations, where they put a bit of like popping candy in it. Yeah, I really, really, really like that.
Do you remember Willy Wonka bars?
Yeah, that's what popped into my head when he was talking about them.
Yeah, they were great. Remember when they first came out?
The dairy milk creations things they did.
Yeah, they're unreal. You know, I've got I really quite like
that's better.
Every now and then I like a Yorkie with raisins. You know,
no, not the raisin one, mate. No,
I thought that was only for men.
Yeah. Not anymore. That marketing thing went right out the window, didn't it? Not in this day and age.
You can't do that now. Imagine doing that now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think they were.
Only for men.
I don't think it went down particularly well at the time, mate.
At the time, no. I threw all my chocolate out though. On New Year's Day, I was like,
yeah, I gave mine to my mate.
Yeah, I had like a massive dairy milk bar, big, huge, like foot long one. I'd done half of it in and threw the other half out. I was just like, I can't keep eating those into the new year.
When you throw out, you have to throw out when you're sick of it. Like that moment where you've had, I've had too much. I need to get rid of it. Otherwise, it will stay around forever.
How do you feel about Jaffa cakes?
Are they a cake or a biscuit?
I just mean Biscuits. In general. I love a Jaffa cake.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, I don't think they're spectacular. They're okay. They're the sort of things that I could eat loads of them, but I wouldn't go out of my way to buy them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it'd probably be just sat on the shelf. I would never actually pick it over something else, to be fair.
Do you remember?
It's a very different thing, isn't it? The kind of biscuit you buy to just put in the cupboard versus like buying a chocolate bar off the shop.
Yeah, I just had chocolate hobnobs.
Yeah, it's the best biscuit ever.
Best biscuit in the world.
It's not even close.
No.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Do you remember those? Do you remember? Well, they still do them. Gold bars.
Oh, mate, I love a gold bar.
Unreal.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I had a gold club. Do you remember the white chocolate gold clubs?
No.
I swear down, they were the nice. I don't know whether they still do them, but they were the nicest biscuits.
You ever had a bar of Karamak?
Yes.
No.
It's basically the same as a gold bar, but without the
Karamak
biscuit.
is
and then
unbelievable.
they did Karamak Kit Kat for a while.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
It was just, there's just not enough of Karamak. That's the only thing. It's too thin.
I know, yeah. But I don't know what like, so gold bars, Karamak, like what is that flavor?
I don't know.
I've ever tasted.
Is it like a caramel mix with white chocolate rather than?
Must be, yeah.
That sort of. You got to try a Karamak.
A gold bar. A gold bar is just exquisite.
I have to give it a go on my cheat day. For Christmas though, I know what you're saying, man. It just seemed that everyone was either not wanting to do stuff because they might get it and ruin the Christmas, which is understandable, wasn't it? Everyone was just sort of isolating for the week before.
Yeah.
My Christmas was quiet. I spent it just with me immediate family. Christmas Day and Boxing Day, I had a dinner both days. And yeah, I didn't really go out much. The match got cancelled on Boxing Day. So I was going to go out for that. Didn't end up out. I think I went out on the 28th when we played Leicester. But that was my only night out. I didn't, like usually I'd be Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, couple of days in between New Year's Eve, but it was really quiet for me. I was a bit down halfway through it because I felt like I was wasting my days off. You know what I mean? I was like, I've worked all year consistently doing multiple things. I want to proper let loose, but just the way that the sort of landscape was at the time, it was always going to be like that. So hoping next year can be a bit more exciting. Yeah, I wanted to go away for New Year this year, but again, just with the travel restrictions and everything, I just didn't end up booking anything. So hopefully next year is a bit more. I've got a bit more options. I think going away for New Year is the best thing I've ever done. You know, in terms of for that day, because going out in town on a night out on New Year's just.
Me, I'm so like 10 years past that now. I couldn't. I mean, us obviously we're at different stages of our lives in terms of that thing, but when I just couldn't think of anything worse of going out.
I haven't for years, to be honest.
I think for me, New Year's is the most overhyped event of the year. Yeah, just because it just costs so much. Everything costs so much. Like they're basically, people rip you off. Yeah, and I really, it really annoys me when people see an opportunity like that and it just, like the price of taxis, the prices of everything just to get into the club and whatever. And what is all right? What you're just waiting for the sort of countdown and all that kind of thing. So it kind of, I mean, like I said, I don't do that. That's not my bag anymore. I just chill at home. Yeah, I might even watch a movie. I mean, even these days, it'd be a case where sometimes I'm in bed before even the countdown.
I was.
You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know how many times, how many New Year's. I know it's a celebration and stuff, but if you're knackered. It's not like you're not missing a huge load.
Other than going on holiday, like abroad, the best New Year's that I've ever had was there was like 3 couples and it was like me, my 2 mates and the girls, and we hired a lodge in York, and
that'd be pretty cool.
It was called Pocklington Lodges, I think, and it had like a jacuzzi and it was like a big, massive, double floored lodge, and we just got bladdered in the jacuzzi all day and then watched the fireworks from the jacuzzi, and when the countdown was on and stuff. And then all New Year's Day just spent it like getting pissed in the jacuzzi. I think New Year's Day we spent like 4 hours in the jacuzzi just talking about The Sopranos and getting pissed. It was like the best day ever.
Yeah, that's
but
pretty cool, man.
I think just like close things like that is definitely what I prefer.
It's creating those memories, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, 100%. Business wise, Carl, what was yours like?
Yeah, it was steady, I should say. It wasn't busy. Like, it wasn't like the last 2 years, nowhere near, like not even close. But again, I think a lot of that is because I've well, as you know, we've been working on projects and bits and pieces, and to be honest with you, I don't think I promoted one thing for Christmas this year, not one.
Yeah.
I didn't do Christmas jumpers this year. Not that I didn't want to, it's just a question of, again, you have to pace yourself and make sure you don't bite off more than you can chew. And like I said, we've got a project coming up next year, and I've got some personal projects, and I need to just make sure that, you know, that they're all in good stead and everything's going right with them. More so kind of, yeah, it was quiet. It was steady, like every week. Don't get me wrong, I was going to the post office with a decent amount, but if you compare it to the last 2, I would even say 3 years, I would say it's probably less than half.
Yeah.
But then again, like I said, you know, part of it is my own fault for not really promoting a lot, because I just had so much going on with other bits and pieces, and trying to keep ahead of them and stuff. And at the moment, with everything going around, I kind of only like to go to the post office once a week.
Yeah.
You know, because it's you just don't want to be out all the time. And yeah, exactly, before Christmas, like you said. So yeah, it was steady, but it was definitely a lot less than it has been before. But again, I think that's been for everyone, like we said.
Yeah, I didn't actively promote much Christmas. I done like a deal at the end of November, which basically gave me a whole month of worth of sales. So it was just sort of 2-3 orders a week over the between like mid-December to now. Well, other than the new project print that you've got on your wall there next to you that we've just released, which the sales have been coming in thick and fast on. Yeah, but yeah,
available now at untitled-artwork.com.
We'll flash this up here, the actual artwork for it.
Yeah. And there'll be a link in the video description.
Hey, look at Yoni, the professional now. He's a marketing wizard. But yeah, it was the same for me. It was just steady. You know, it wasn't a tremendous amount of revenue, but it was enough to, you know, tick over, considering I didn't really promote.
Yeah, I think for me, like I'd say, I think I've not done like a forensic analysis of the numbers or anything, but it was definitely, it didn't meet my expectations in terms of sales, because that, you know, I've only got last Christmas and this Christmas to compare to, because I launched my shop at first in September 2020. So it's only my second Christmas. But I know that like for a lot of places where you could categorize them as like selling gifts, which I think to a certain extent you could put us all in that basket, you really usually expect to make like 25 to 40% of your revenue in December or in the Christmas run-in
for the year.
And there's no way that I was anywhere near that. Like it was just like, it was like a continuation of the year. You know, it was a steady number of sales. But in 2020, I was doing daily post office trips. Like with a bag full of orders. And you know, part of that is like I did a calendar for 2021, and I've not done one for this year because I just didn't have the time. And I think if I consider myself as the business, then like my turnover was up 2021. November, December was up versus November, December 2020. But if I just narrow it down to my shop, I would say it was probably underperformed a bit. But just like you guys, I didn't do any promotion. Like I think in December 2020, I was like posting something Christmas related every day to keep up presence of mind for people. And pushing, like, you know, final day to order, doing a post office run in 3 hours. So if you want to get your order in now, it'll arrive tomorrow. I upgraded everything to next day delivery, like free of charge, just to generate more sales. But I think this year, like one of the things that changed for me, I can't even remember exactly when it was, but it was when it will have been at the time when my priorities flipped from being a shop and a person that sells my prints to being somebody that does work for clients. And you know, as much as like I really value the people that follow me across all different social media platforms, and one of the reasons why I continue to do personal work that I can sell as prints is because I know that like that work means stuff to people that follow me. And as much as I get something out of it, for me, I want to make sure that I'm constantly giving back to like the community that I'm trying to develop. And but that, like I said, that priority switched for me at some point in the year where I went from spending like 90% of my time on personal projects that would then become designs in my shop to laying the ground for what is hopefully like, you know, something that pays off over the next series of years, rather than thinking in like 4-week chunks, which I'd say is probably what I was doing in 2020. I was like, right, what do I want to achieve in September, October, November, December? Whereas now I'm like, what am I trying to sow the seeds for so that I'm smashing it in 2025? I think that's like that was the mindset change for me that meant I stopped having the time to promote and focus on my shop as much. And I think that like that's the thing, I always think back to something that I think Karl has said a few times that is really valuable, is like he left his job when it was costing him money to go to work, because if he was creating artwork and promoting artwork, it would generate more than his actual day job. And I think like that's how I'm trying to think of long-term goals at the moment. Is like is creating this, or is doing even just posting on social media to promote, you know, your store or whatever, is that hampering your efforts for long-term goals? And I think that's how I'm trying to approach the way I think and have been for a few months. So that was like the compromise, really. It's like, I'm going to sacrifice like, you know, a few grand's worth of sales over November, December, but hopefully it pays off in 2022, 2023, etc., etc.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, ultimately, when you kind of really get down to it, as much as like we love our job and what we do, when you boil it down, the fact of the matter is that it's our living. You have to earn a living. You have to build that future for you outside of what you're doing. You know, to be able to do what we're doing here, you need to raise the funds long term, not just short term. To keep it ticking over continuously, and you have to have that mindset where you think about things for the future, just not the short term.
I think all this December and November's had that sort of feel to it, to sort of lay the groundwork for what's coming for 2022 for all three of us, really. I think definitely. Obviously we've got collaborations that we're going to do, including the first one that's on your wall there, Karl. We've got this YouTube channel that we all, you know, we want to put content out that's valuable for people. We want to gain eyes on what we're doing as well. It's you know, we're trying to build a platform that, you know, is valuable for us and for people that follow us as well, especially if you're an artist and you're doing something similar, but just anyone in the creative fields that are looking to try and succeed in any way, that we can help them. And then obviously we've got projects that we're working on separately, as well as, you know, our main project that's we're hopefully going to finish and extend really in the first quarter of 2022. So I think it's getting that long-term view in place. Obviously we've had other discussions outside of this podcast of how we're going to organize them revenue streams and keep them all pointing in the same direction. I think it's going to be an interesting year, which brings us on to goals quite well, really. So for me, looking back on it, obviously I told you about doing a review of the whole year for 2021. And as people know, I still work full time, as do you, Yoni. Karl, you do this full time as well as other freelance projects. But we just had another order for that print on your wall there, Karl.
Right.
While I was speaking. For 2020, thank you, whoever that was. For 2021, I've done a review, which I do every year, and my goal every year is to just sort of outdo the previous year in terms of sales. Simple as that, really, until this year when I've got 1 million. But when I looked at it, my actual take-home pay from art, purely from art projects, that last year was almost 2/3 of me full-time work take-home pay. So not my actual salary, me what I take home month on month from my full-time job. So I was looking at it like, can that pay me a wage?
Yeah.
Like if I was looking at the time I allocate to it, and in all honesty, I allocate at least 2 hours a day on just general projects, and then another hour or two a day on drawing and planning. And so it's 3-4 hours a day tops that I've done for the last 365 days. But I was like, if I've generated like 2/3 of me full-time job income from just doing that, like if I was spending 4, 5, 6 hours a day on that stuff, could I put another third on top of that? And for me, it's going to be, obviously we're going to do a different episode, another episode about 2022 goals, but for me, 2021 was the most successful year I've had in terms of revenue on the art side. And yeah, I've got a big decision to make in 2022.
Yeah, if you want my advice from someone who's sort of done it, you will open more connections as long as you have a base level that you think you'll get, like you said, 2/3. The doors will open, and you will make sure that you do. It's just, you just have to mentally prepare yourself to be ready for it. And look, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, there's nothing wrong with you saying, I'm going back to doing that job.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what you've got to kind of remember. There's always a fallback. You've got your skills, you've got your whatever. And even if it's a point of your fallback is just part-time, so you could do a little bit more, you've got to just weigh that up. And, if you want to do this, which I know you do, you'll make the jump. Just, be patient. But there's going to be a point where you don't be patient anymore, and you have to just say, like, I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it for this year. And once you do that, I personally believe you'll be absolutely fine.
Well, I think it ties into what you were saying before about the risk that you take when you do it. Like for me, for the whole year, I've always said, once I've got X amount in the bank, I can then reduce my hours in my full-time job.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much close to that number. And I'm like,
also banging on the table.
Yeah, I need to stop banging on the table. It's just about calculating that risk and doing it. But Yoni, how's the time juggling being for you this year? With you do both things basically full time.
Yeah, well, because I'm self-employed across both disciplines.
Yeah,
it's obviously totally self-managed. It's not something I'd prescribe for everyone, because like I'm a workaholic to a very unhealthy point. So it's not a good balance that I have.
Yeah.
If I've got projects on the go with both, I typically will have to like do a full-time day, speaking to people that I'm working with on a film project, and then dedicate the entire evening to client work for illustration and design stuff. And I have no problem with that, but it's certainly not for everyone.
But I would say that a lot of that is for you is based on the fact that you're doing two jobs you love.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah. Like,
so, and I think
it's not the same thing as having like a normal 9 to 5 and trying to become an artist or a filmmaker or a singer. It's not the same thing. I'm
saying that I think that what you're doing is not. It's only unhealthy because both of your jobs you love so much. If you was, do you know what I mean? If you were doing one and the other one, something, I don't know, you're working in an office, for example, you may not feel that it's an unhealthy.
True, very true.
It's just because the fact that you love jobs both so much. I love my, and there's times I'm sure all of us have been here, apart from Callie who likes to go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm sure there's all of us here who've been up at 1 o'clock in the morning doing artwork, or I've been up to 2s and 3s in the morning, and sometimes I've done it off my own back without the fact that there's no deadline to meet. I just feel that's the time that my creative juices are flowing, for example, or whatever, and I'm just in the zone. So but that's just because you love the job. Do you know what I mean? And I think what my point was for you is, I think it's because your love of both means that you're going to work twice as hard as anyone else. Do you know what I mean? Just because you love doing it.
I think the reason why I kind of caveat it as being unhealthy is because I don't ever like to say to people that you need to work like the hours that I do, or, you know, either of you do, or, you know, most people that I know that are creative people, like, they basically work 24 hours a day because, you know, even when you're awake, you might see something and you'll be like, oh, you know what? I could draw this that way, or if I put these bits together, I could make this design and it'd be really cool.
Or you plan it.
But I don't think for any industry, like, you should ever feel comfortable turning around to someone and going, you're only going to make it if you work 18-hour days. You know, that's the kind of graft it takes. Like, you know, if somebody's really talented and they've got the skills and they want to treat artwork as a 10 till 6 job, and, you know, and not respond to client requests or order inquiries at like 8-9 p.m, do it. Like, you are completely entitled to do that. I think that's the only reason why I ever caveat it like that. Like, I love what I do, and it's my favorite thing to do. That's why I do it so much. You know, if my favorite thing to do was go and play video games, which is probably like 7th or 8th on the list, then that would be what I did in my free time. But because what I do is my work is my favorite thing to do, that's why, like, I take my iPad to bed with me.
I would be exactly the same. And if I didn't have kids, I'd work 10 times more than I do. And, you know, sometimes I do need my missus to tell me, you need to stop, you need to take a break, you need to spend time with the family, because it's really easy, because it's such a solo individual job. You know, you do it all by yourself. I mean, apart from obviously what we're doing here, but when you're creating the artwork, we do it as an individual. It's really easy to get locked away, get in the zone and stay in the zone for hours. And you're right, you do need that break, and you do need to just you know, step away from it. And thank God I do have kids, because otherwise I'd be like buried in doing stuff. So
I think that it comes back to something Callie said before that I wanted to touch on, actually. And I said something along the same lines. Like, I do feel like I didn't have enough of a break over Christmas, and I really should have forced myself to have more of a break. And I think, you know, similar to Callie said before, something that I thought is, I think it's a bit of an unhealthy habit that most people in our line of work have, where it's like, if you're not doing something, it feels like you're wasting your time. But sometimes doing nothing can be one of the most important parts of, like, staying creative, keeping those creative juices flowing, and not burning out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an addiction, isn't it? Like, in reality, we love it, so you get addicted to doing it. You know, like anything, whether, you know, people smoke or they drink or whatever, they love doing it. So there's an addiction. You know, and any addiction long term or overdoing stuff can be unhealthy, just, you know, generally, mentally, physically, whatever. So yeah, you're right, you do need to manage yourself and take a rest every now and then.
Another order just came in.
We should get a bell.
Yeah, we should have a bell for the orders that are coming in. We just had 2 more that have come in while we've been talking.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think.
And just remember, it's only on sale until the end of the month, and then it'll never be on sale again.
No, I feel like that's actually a really positive way to kind of wrap up what Christmas was like for us. I think, you know, we've got some really exciting stuff that we've all been working on. I think we probably underestimated how much work we'd be creating for ourselves in December, and therefore I think, like, you know, we should try and do a bit of a Untitled Artwork retreat at some point in February.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Man. Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, I guess that's a good place to wrap up our Christmas 2021 catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. And
cool.
just to plug one more time, the orders that we've been getting is for the print that's behind Karl. It is a collaboration print that us 3 have created to celebrate 4 years of Virgil Van Dijk being at the club. But yeah, it's a collaboration print. It's available in A2 and A3, and you can get it at untitled-artwork.com.
Thanks for watching, guys. In the next episode, we're going to talk about our goals for 2022, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Untitled Artwork.